Hey guys, coming at you the month of March, top 3 baits. It's the best month of the year to bass fish. I promise you, if we went back through all the history books, the biggest bass of the year are caught in March, like all across the country. The month of March is a pre-spawn month, so we're gonna dive off into it. I got 3 baits, but I got 3 different baits in each category too. That we're gonna break down, talk about month of March really in depth. Right here, Project D, top 3 baits coming at you guys. This is gonna be a good video. So what I want to do a little bit different this month is I want to kind of take you through how much March changes. Because man, from the 1st of March, it can still be winter, especially here in Oklahoma. We've had snow. It can be the absolute toughest week of the year, sometimes the first week of March, but then by the end of March, you got fish up spawning and going crazy. So we're gonna talk about these baits and kind of break it down even more into like each week of the month of March, you know, because it changes drastically. And so let's start off right here. If I was to choose a bait for the first week of March, you know, it's gonna be a jerkbait. You know, this bait's gonna be a great bait throughout March. It's been a great bait back in February, and it'll still be a bait you can throw in April, but man, a jerkbait, when that water's still really cold, those fish are just sliding out of that deeper water, they're staging up on those secondary points, staging over those brush piles, man, a jerkbait's gonna be a bait I'm gonna have tied on. It's such a great bait for this time of the year to throw, because 1, I can cover water with it, 2, I can see it on my active target, I can see how the fish react to it, I can let it sit, I can work it fast. It's just a great bait. It's just, it catches a lot of big fish this time of the year. I got 3 different colors. I've got a really transparent one called Northern Lights for those super clear water situations, for those super sunny situations. On those situations, I want a jerkbait that I can see through. I've also got Shad Fillet, man, it's just a great bait. It's just a blue back, got skeleton pattern on the sides, a chartreuse bottom. This is gonna be a little bit more in that medium range, a little bit more stained water, cloudy, sunny. It can be an MVP, an all-around utility infielder when you don't know what to tie on. Then I've got just a Stunna Shad, just an all-white, dark back. I like this bait in those cloudy days, dirtier water situations. Okay, that's enough about the colors. That's the bait. You know, the rig that you're going to throw this on is going to be 10-pound fluorocarbon, make long casts. We've talked about it a bunch in videos. A shorter rod, figure out the cadence, figure out how long you got to let this thing pause. You know, the great thing that I love about the Stunna jerkbaits is that they sink really slow. I'm able to get them deeper than I am a lot of other baits. It's just, it is what it is, especially like the fully painted ones, like that color right there. When you get to like the Northern Lights, they're a little bit more of a true suspending jerkbait because it doesn't have as much paint on it. So I'll add a bigger hook on the front to get this one to sink a little bit faster. But to me, that's really important because I can see that bait, I can get it down to the depth I need to get it, then give it some twitches, some pauses. If you go back to the red crest, you know, we had last year on Grand, I was sinking those baits down to 10, 12, 15 feet right above a brush pile, twitching it and then getting those fish to come out and bite. But, you know, that's the jerkbait. We all knew that, you know, doing a bait in March, we're going to do jerkbait. Okay, so now this next bait. This bait is going to be a bait when, 1, I have dirtier water, or 2, they've moved from that secondary point, that main lake point, they've slid around and they're between where they were staging and where they're going to spawn. They've just moved up a little bit. That's what happens in the spring. You know, these fish just kind of move up in the water columns, and as they move up, they move back. And man, a spinnerbait is the bait. So the start of March, it's going to be a single Colorado spinnerbait. This is going to be a bait that I can work really slow, upper 40s, lower 50s water temperature, muddier water, you know, too muddy a situation for these jerkbaits. That's when this comes into play right here. Coleslaw, great color. Rigged this on 20-pound test. I can reel it really slow. I'm working this in depths. Like this is a 1/2 ounce version. I work this in that 1 to 4 or 5 feet of water. If I need to get deeper than that, then I go to a 3/4 or a 1 ounce version. But a single Colorado spinnerbait, the first parts of March, That's the bait that I need to have tied on for those situations when it's too dirty for my jerkbait, or they're up shallower, or I've got more cover. You know where that is. That's when this shines. Okay, so then now we get to that water that's in the mid 50s to upper 50s. That's when we slide over to the tandem willow spinnerbait. Colorado willow, that's what I call a tandem willow spinnerbait. This is gonna move a little quicker. It's just a bait that is up a little bit more in the water column. You know, the single Colorado spinnerbait, a lot of times I'm really bouncing the bottom with that. This is down on the bottom. This one's just gonna be a little bit above it, if you could imagine that. But that's the bait that I transition to once that water gets a little bit warmer. Those fish have slid up, you know, they're on a laydown, they're on the backside of a dock, they're you know, on maybe some chunk rock, but that's a little bit clearer situation. That's when this one comes into play. Just when that water gets a little bit warmer, mid 50s to 60, that's when this one comes into play. Now, the last spinnerbait, when that water is the upper 50s, low 60s, mid 60s, you know, now we got fish up there really getting close to spawning. You know, they all say they spawn at 62 degrees. It doesn't always happen right at 62 degrees. It just depends on how stable your lake is, to be honest with you. I went with the compact double willow. That's when I want something that's even yet a little bit quicker. I need to get a reaction bite. I need to move it a little quicker. I need to cover more water, get it up higher in the water column, lower in the water column, but this bait moves quicker. Water warms, I need a bait that moves quicker. That's when this one comes into play. You'll notice, man, I just got chartreuse and white. I do have coleslaw, because a lot of times this is a really dirty water bait for me. But chartreuse and white, you can't go wrong. Just the #1 color in the whole world of spinnerbaits. But that's how and when and where I throw these with the different blades and why I carry them in my boat. Again, all these are going to be on 20-pound test, a 7-1 medium heavy rod, a 6/8-to-1 gear ratio reel, something that you don't want to outwind your fish. You know, I don't throw an 8/3-to-1 early in the spring like this, but these are what I throw as March transpires, as the water warms up in March. Okay, now, last, we're towards the end of March, and there's a time when you're like, holy smokes, man, I can't get a bite. You know, you've been throwing spinnerbait. You know, another bait would be interchangeable with that, you know, when that water's in that upper 50s, low 60s, is a vibrating jig. And it's just like, bam, overnight, they quit biting that stuff. That's when you bring out this bait right here, and that's a topwater. I got 3 different versions here. And again, guys, you know, I didn't even say this, but I give all these away. At the end of the month, I've got the last month's winners, you know, on my phone right here, but I give all these away. All you guys got to do is leave me a comment. I randomly go down through there. I give 3 of them away and a Plano tackle box. This whole video series is sponsored by Plano, and we give them away. But anyway, back to the topwater. It's a fun time. Like, it's just when that light switch goes off, and you're like, man, I can't get a bite, don't panic. Like, those fish are like this close to spawning, or maybe some of them are actually started to spawn. The other thing that happens, that I think happens, is these baits are all down below them. You know, a fish warms from the sunshine, all that warmth, they get up even higher in the water column. That's when this comes into play. Water's in the upper 50s, low 60s. You know, the first one I'd have would be a spin rocket. It's a prop bait. You know, you twitch it, let it pause. Twitch it, let it pause. Let all those circles. This is a bait that you're going to throw when the water's really calm. Target fishing, you know, around a lily pad clump, around a grass clump, around a stump, whatever it may be. This bait right here is a bait that I'll have tied on right when they just almost spawn, or right after the spawn even, actually. This bait will shine on through the month of April. Another topwater that'll work is just a walking bait, like a Jaywalker 120. I've caught mega bags in the water temperature from like 55, 56, 57 on a bait just like this, you know, when you just can't get them to bite anything else. Those fish are sitting up super high in the water column. The water visibility may not be very good, and they're all the way up in the top of that water column, and man, you can blister them on this. Another one is a popping bait. You know, like this one right here is a Bullet Pop 70. Right before those fish get to spawn. You know, I like this one. You know, this has a little bit more drawing power out over flats and grass. I kind of tend to throw this one out there in those situations. But tie a topwater on when you can't get that bite. When it's just like, man, well, I can't get that bite. You know, use the prop bait when it's really calm. You can use the walking bait and the popping bait when you start to get more ripples, more waves on the water. Don't overwork them. Don't get in a hurry, you know, working them really quick. It's kind of a twitch, and let it sit. A twitch, and a let it sit. So it's definitely not a really quick, like you would later in the year. But man, those baits right there, it's just a given. It happens every spring. I lose contact with them on my moving baits. And those topwaters are something that I can get back into catching a lot of fish and some really big fish. Guys, that's my top 3 baits for the month. Let's give away last month's baits and a tackle box. Let me get here on my phone. All right, so let's pick last month's winners. That's what we do every month. You know, we give away, give these baits away, and this is so random, guys. I just go down through there. I do enjoy reading all the comments, and I do try to go through them all. But the random one I got, Steve Cook Fishing. Thanks, good stuff as always. I keep a spreadsheet of your recommendations so I can go back and use them each season. Appreciate it. So man, Steve, I appreciate that. I appreciate you leaving that comment. Send me an email through my website with your address, and I'm gonna get these baits out to you, Steve. All right, our next winner, Mr. Ron Kitts. I love watching your videos, especially the top baits. Congratulations on becoming a grandpa. That's true, I did. I can't wait till next month. Thanks, Ron, for leaving that comment, buddy. Same thing, send me your address through my website. Matt Campbell, 5187. Congrats on becoming a grandpa. I love your videos. We'll definitely heed your advice as I head out in the next couple weeks. All right, guys, you guys are my 3 winners. Appreciate you leaving the comments. We will get these mailed out to you here really short before I leave on the road for the next event. With that said, you guys check out the Where to Start videos. I'm sure you've seen those. We give a battery away each month over there, Optima Batteries. And one last thing, I got a really good discount going on through March 8th over at Power Stop at carparts.com. Man, you can get 40 bucks off and 80 bucks off on getting a new set of brakes for your truck. So it's just a great deal, man. They're great brakes. They're dustless. They're drilled. They're slotted. They don't get hot. Like, I pull a lot of miles with my truck and boat, and Power Stop's been a great partner of mine, and they are trying to offer you guys a discount. So you can go to carparts.com, Power Stop 40, Power Stop 80. There'll be a little description down here below the video that you can use to get that discount. But it's a great discount. No better time to upgrade your brakes on your tow vehicle or your 4x4, your Jeep, whatever it is. So, guys, that's it, man. I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave me a comment, thumbs up, all that good stuff. I hope March just is on fire for you. You catch some giants. And I appreciate you guys following along. Have a great month.